I'm Kelsey Zeiser. I'm a senior editor at Light Reading, and we're here at the Big 5G event in Austin. And I'm joined by Jennifer Clark with Omdia. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Kelsey. Always a pleasure.
The same here. So do you have any new research that you're working on that you can give us a little sneak preview?
Well, it's the type of research is for individual clients, so I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you type of thing.
Oh,
so
man.
Not good. Not good. But what I'm seeing is a lot of interesting conversations here at the Big 5G. I had a great conversation with John Deere about, which is great to have enterprises on the show floor.
Right.
Very, very interesting. So very interesting conversation about their implementation of private 5G. And of course, with the usual suspects in terms of the vendors, and discussing with them what they are seeing next, how they're monetizing 5G, how they're helping the carriers, how they're competing with and yet at the same time partnering with the hyperscalers. All very interesting conversations.
Yeah, I imagine there are a lot of unique private 5G applications for the agricultural industry.
Yeah.
John Deere's probably got a lot of different things that they can do with sensors and tracking their equipment and how things are going there.
I got to say, that's where I thought the conversation was going to go. And they certainly are enabling that type of communication in their equipment themselves for their farmer customers. But a lot of this, the private 5G implementation was actually on the factory floor, their own factory floor, and replacing Ethernet and replacing Wi-Fi as well. And I was expecting the cost-benefit analysis to maybe be on the side of Wi-Fi, even though Wi-Fi is inexpensive to deploy and fairly easy to deploy. I nevertheless have seen more of that on the factory floor than ripping out the fixed, Ethernet. And yet he said that their return on investment for replacing Ethernet with private 5G on the factory floor or in the logistics operation was actually had a return on investment cycle of only one season. So very impressive.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great, example of how powerful that can be.
Absolutely.
And you're also heading up a panel today as well. And I believe there's some focus on AI. Can you give us a little sneak peek on what some of the AI focus will be?
I'm really hoping it's tomorrow, or else I'm in trouble. But it's a great panel.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Yes.
To a theater near you.
I can't remember what day it is.
In a world.
Yes.
5G world.
I love it.
Yes, we have an absolutely fantastic team of panel members from.
I think you've got TELUS and
we have
T-Mobile.
TELUS, we have T-Mo, and then we have a couple of independent analysts as well. One of them, Teresa Melvin, was on my panel last year, and I was very anxious to have her back because she is she does a lot in sort of the future world of what we are operating in now. So she does a lot in advanced AI and ML, what the carriers are going to need in order to deliver extremely low latency communications, maybe first for gaming, but looking out for many more types of applications. She does quantum computing analysis. She is a data scientist and always has fascinating things, genuinely fascinating things to say about the industry. So we had one of our speakers saying, we can talk about automation, but we're not using AI that much. And then you talk to a couple of other panel members and they're like, wait a minute, let me tell you what we're working on. So I'm very much looking forward to the panel. It's a great group of speakers.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts there on how AI can be utilized by service providers to make their networks more efficient and agile and programmable?
There are two sides to that coin. One is how to make their network and operations better, and one is how to improve the customer experience. So actually the ability to look into what the traffic that they're carrying and make inferences from that. Our friends, the hyperscalers, have been fantastic at that. They can pitch you marketing materials that are directed directly at what you are interested in hearing about. The carriers have not, and they can do human voice recognition to find out that when you're on a customer call, are you actually happy or are you very angry? And they can, so rather than a net promoter score, they can make a lot more granular analysis of how their customers are perceiving them. The carriers have not gotten into that a lot. So on the customer experience side, that's where I see AI helping out the carriers, just in making better use of this rich resource of data that they're carrying today, and also make inferences about them for their own marketing, for their own customer experience, for the marketing efforts of their customers as well, for a B2B type of thing. Operationally, as we move into 5G, as we move into cloud native communications, as we move more aggressively into the edge and you're tripling the number of devices you're trying to manage in the network, you just can't do it manually. You have to have automation, and behind that automation, it's very helpful if you have AI with a precise analysis of when things are going to fail, to give you some warning, with better information and automatic action on where you need to expand, spin up a few more virtual instances or containers for specific areas in the network. So it's really not will it arrive, but how long can they do without it? They're moving very quickly in AI and right behind, or automation, and right behind automation into AI and ML. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And Deepika Bhattacharya and I, she with Verizon, she was talking about just how AI can be so useful to leveraging data that enterprises and their customers are bringing
Yes.
in, and making the most of that data and the telemetry.
Absolutely, without question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely an interesting area to keep an eye on. So, look forward to hearing more updates from you in the
Absolutely.
future.
Come to this panel. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.